Alright, imagine we're talking about a super helpful guide called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This book is packed with simple, smart ideas about getting along better with everyone you meet, whether it's at work, with family, or just out and about. Think of it as a friendly roadmap to becoming someone people genuinely like and respect, not by being fake, but by truly understanding how people feel and what they need. The very first big idea is about how we handle others, kind of like the basic rules of being a good human in interactions. Carnegie says, straight up, don't go around criticizing, complaining, or putting people down. Think about it. Does tearing someone apart ever actually help? Usually, it just makes them defensive and resentful. Nobody likes being told they're wrong or bad. Instead, if you want to connect with people, you need to avoid that negative energy. Skip the blame game. Following that, a huge secret is giving honest and sincere appreciation. Everyone, deep down, wants to feel important and valued. When someone does something well, or even just tries hard, notice it. Tell them specifically what you appreciated. Don't just say good job. Say something like, hey, I really appreciated how you stayed late to help finish that project. It made a big difference. See the difference? It's specific and real, but here's the key. It has to be sincere. People can spot fake flattery a mile away, and that's worse than saying nothing. Find something genuine to appreciate and let them know. This is a powerful tool for building positive relationships. Then there's the idea of arousing in the other person an eager want. This is super smart when you need someone to do something. Instead of just ordering them around or telling them what you want, think about what they want or need. How can doing what you suggest help them? Frame your request or idea in a way that shows the benefit to the other person. For example, instead of telling your kid to clean their room because you want it clean, maybe you talk about how having a clean room will make it easier for them to find their toys or have friends over. You're connecting your request to their desires. This makes them want to do it, rather than feeling forced. Moving on to how to make people actually like you. And who doesn't want that, right? The first step is simple, but profound. Become genuinely interested in other people. Stop being so focused on yourself and your own stuff for a minute. Ask people about themselves, their hobbies, their families, their dreams, and truly listen to the answer. People love to talk about themselves, and showing genuine interest makes them feel important and interesting. It's not about pretending. It's about opening yourself up to learning about others. And here's another easy one. Smile. A sincere smile is a universal welcome sign. It tells people you're friendly, approachable, and happy to see them. It immediately creates a positive vibe and makes people feel more comfortable around you. Try it. You'll see how people respond differently. This next point is crucial. Remember that a person's name is, to that person, the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Think about how you feel when someone you just met remembers your name and uses it. It feels personal, like they see you. Making an effort to remember and use people's names is a sign of respect and attention. It shows you value them as an individual. Get good at remembering names. It makes a huge difference in connecting with people. Building on being interested in others, be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. Most people are much better at talking than listening. If you can be the person who truly listens, who asks good questions and lets others express themselves, you will be incredibly popular. Don't interrupt. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Actually listen to understand. Ask follow-up questions. This shows you care about what they're saying. Another great tip is to talk in terms of the other person's interests. If you know someone is really into gardening, talk about plants. If they love a certain sports team, bring that up. When you connect with people based on their passions, conversations flow easily, and you build a stronger bond. It shows you pay attention and care about what matters to them. And perhaps one of the most powerful principles, make the other person feel important, and do it sincerely. This ties into appreciation, but it's broader. It's about treating everyone with respect, acknowledging their worth, and making them feel valued in your interactions. Whether it's the CEO or the cleaner, everyone wants to feel like they matter. A simple thank you, asking for their opinion, or acknowledging their contribution goes a long way. Again, sincerity is key. Find genuine reasons to make people feel important. Now, let's think about how to gently guide people towards your way of thinking without conflict. Carnegie offers some brilliant strategies here. First off, the only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. Arguments are almost always counterproductive. They put people on the defensive, harden their positions, and damage relationships. You might win the battle of words, but you'll lose the war for goodwill. Learn to spot when a discussion is turning into an argument and steer clear. Instead, show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say, "You're wrong." Telling someone they are flat out wrong is a direct attack on their intelligence and judgment. It's humiliating and will make them resist you with everything they have. Even if they are wrong, there are gentler ways to explore different perspectives. You can say things like, "That's an interesting point. Have you considered?" Or, "I see where you're coming from, and I also think about it this way." If you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. This is incredibly disarming. When you own your mistakes, people are much more likely to forgive you and see you as honest and humble. Trying to cover up or make excuses just makes things worse. If you mess up, just say, "You're right. I was wrong about that. I apologize." When you want to persuade someone, begin in a friendly way. A warm, friendly approach immediately lowers defenses and makes the other person more receptive to what you have to say. Start with something you agree on, or just a pleasant greeting. Create a positive atmosphere before you dive into the topic you want to discuss. Get the other person saying, "Yes, yes," immediately. This is a clever psychological technique. Start by asking questions that you know they will answer with yes. This gets their mind and attitude moving in a positive direction. Each yes makes them more likely to say yes to your bigger request later on. It builds agreement step by step. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. Remember that people love to talk about themselves and their ideas. If you want to influence someone, sometimes the best way is to let them fully express their thoughts and feelings. Listen carefully, ask clarifying questions, and show that you understand their perspective. Once they feel heard, they will be much more open to hearing your ideas. Let the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. People are much more committed to ideas they feel they came up with themselves. Instead of presenting your idea as a finished product, guide the other person towards it with questions and suggestions. Let them fill in the blanks and feel like they are contributing significantly to the solution. You can say things like, "What do you think about this approach?" Or, "How could we make this work?" Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. This requires empathy. Put yourself in their shoes and try to understand their motivations, concerns, and perspective, even if you don't agree with it. When you can articulate their point of view back to them, they feel understood, which builds trust and makes them more open to considering your perspective. Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. This goes hand in hand with seeing things from their point of view. Acknowledge and validate their feelings and desires, even if you can't fulfill them. Say things like, "I can understand why you feel that way," or "That sounds really frustrating." This doesn't mean you agree, but it shows you care about their emotional state. Appeal to the nobler motives. Most people want to see themselves as good and honorable. When you're trying to persuade someone, show them how doing what you suggest aligns with their values and principles. Frame your request in terms of fairness, integrity, or the greater good. Dramatize your ideas. Simply stating facts isn't always compelling. Find ways to make your ideas vivid, interesting, and memorable. Use stories, examples, or visual aids to capture attention and make your point more impactful. Throw down a challenge. Sometimes the way to motivate people especially capable ones, is to challenge them. Frame a task as an opportunity to prove themselves, to achieve something difficult, or to compete in a friendly way. This can tap into their desire for achievement and recognition. Finally, the book gives us principles for being a leader and changing people without causing offense or resentment. Basically, how to give feedback and guide others effectively. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. Just like in general interactions, start by acknowledging what the person did well. This softens the blow of any criticism that might follow and makes the person more receptive. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Instead of directly pointing out a flaw, you can bring it up in a more subtle way. For instance, you could talk about how a certain task needs to be done a particular way without specifically saying they did it wrong last time. Or you could praise someone else who did the task correctly as an example. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. This shows humility and makes the other person feel less singled out. By admitting you've made similar errors, you create a sense of understanding and shared humanity, making them more open to hearing about their own mistake. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. Instead of saying, "Do this," you could ask, "How do you think we should approach this?" Or, "Have you considered trying it this way?" This empowers the other person, encourages them to think, and makes them feel like they are part of the solution, rather than just being told what to do. Let the other person save face. If someone has made a mistake or is in a difficult position, don't humiliate them. Allow them to maintain their dignity. Find a way for them to correct the situation or back down gracefully without feeling embarrassed or exposed. Praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. When someone is trying to improve, notice and acknowledge every little step forward. This positive reinforcement is incredibly motivating and encourages them to keep trying. Be generous with your sincere praise for their efforts and progress. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. If you want someone to embody a certain quality or behavior, tell them you believe they already possess it. For example, if you want someone to be more responsible, you might say, "I know you're a very responsible person, so I'm trusting you with this important task." This encourages them to live up to that positive image you've created for them. Use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. Frame mistakes as learning opportunities and express confidence in the person's ability to do better. Instead of making a mistake seem like a huge failure, present it as something that can be easily fixed with a little effort or adjustment. Finally, make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. This ties back to arousing an eager want and appealing to nobler motives. Find ways to make the action you want them to take appealing to them. Connect it to their goals, values, or interests so they feel good about doing it. So that's a deeps dive into the wisdom of how to win friends and influence people. It's not about manipulating people. It's about building genuine connections, understanding human nature, and interacting with others in a way that benefits everyone involved. By focusing on appreciation, interest in others, empathy, and respectful communication, you can become someone who navigates social situations with ease and builds strong, positive relationships in all areas of your life. These principles are timeless and incredibly powerful for anyone looking to improve their interactions and make a positive impact on the people around them.